How many of you know why Tennessee is named a volunteer state? So, back in the War of 1812, Tennessee had the most volunteers to go into the War of 1812, most notably the Battle of New Orleans. So how many of you can say that you're a true volunteer? Not many of us can. Most of us look at it as a waste of our time and that we could use our time more wisely other than volunteering. But what if you could build a resume or something furthering your career while you're in college, while promoting the community and yourself? This is relevant to us because we're in school now, and not only do you need the education that you're getting now, but you also need the networking, references, and everything else that comes with meeting new people. Today we're going to talk about the 2 points of volunteering: personal benefit and community involvement. First, we'll talk about personal benefit. The obvious benefits of volunteering for personally are work history, references, work experience if you're lucky enough to get an opportunity in the career field that you're studying for. Now, getting a job, you need education, that's why you're here today, but volunteering can give you the other side of getting a job. A journal from the University of Pennsylvania in 2010 said that most volunteers range in age from 16 to 24 and are there for those specific reasons: getting work experience, references, and networking. Duke University Law Journal of '99 mentions other benefits of volunteering, such as buffering stress and reducing the risk of disease. Now, these can possibly be attributed to having less stress, overall being healthier, but they also did mention that maybe just by volunteering and meeting new people, there's the circulation of knowledge and interaction that you might not otherwise have. Now, Corporation for National and Community Services, which is a government entity, substantiates the claim that volunteering promotes a healthier lifestyle, but they do say that those health benefits typically come on if you volunteer about 100 hours a year, which is only about 8.5 hours a month. Now, a BBC article online from '04 does bring up some negative effects of volunteering. Now, they didn't bring any claims to substantiate what they claimed, but one thing they did say that made sense was volunteering could have a negative effect on your health if you were poor at managing time and tried to over-encumbersome yourself. Now that we've talked about the personal gain, we'll talk and move to the final point of community benefit. Now, anything that is a personal benefit can be a community benefit. Anything that helps you will probably help someone else, and if the whole community is happier, then everything overall will be better. But then other than those, for community benefit, you can volunteer at Habitat for Humanity, dog shelters, picking up trash, working with foster children. Really, the numbers are endless to what you can do, and you can tailor it to what you want to do to help benefit yourself later on and help the community at the same time. Now, University of California, San Diego, from August 16 on the student involvement page, notes that volunteering equals less resources used overall. So the more time you spend donating your time, in the end equals more money that can be used for something else. So here in Tennessee, the average hourly wage for volunteering is about $22 an hour. So if you volunteer that 100 hours a year, like the one article stated, that's $2,200 a year. If you bump it up a little more and do a reasonable, I think, 4 hours a week, net volunteering monetary donation is about $4,200 over the course of the year. But if you bump it back down to, let's say, the 8.5 hours a month, and back in 2016 there was approximately 28,000 people here at UT that attended. If only 10% of those people volunteered regularly at 8 hours a month, over the course of a year, that's a monetary donation of $6.1 million. And that's just for the University of Tennessee, not including all of Knoxville, or if you can get more than 10% of people involved. So in conclusion, volunteering can benefit anyone, involved or not, gain experience, networking, or helping the community in general. And here's some tips on how you can volunteer or how volunteering can help you. Ask around. Pretty much everyone that volunteers because they talk to someone who volunteers, or they're personally asked to come help with a project. And one of the big things about volunteering is not constantly volunteering. You don't have to go weekly, but consistently. So even if it's every every month you go once a week or something, just consistently. And over a long period of time, through your college education, you'll build those relationships that will later on, you'll be able to network with those people and get references for jobs. So the 2 points of volunteering are personal benefit, which are the obvious ones, but then community involvement as well, which can help everyone in the long run. So why not live up to UTK and be a true volunteer?
It's 2017, and we are the generation that is most dependent on sharing everything on social media. I know you may feel safe if your account is private and you only think your best friends are following you, but do you really know who's watching? Today I'd like to talk to you about how dangerous the internet can actually be. The 2017 article by Michael Lovelock and the Television and New Media says that catfishing refers to the construction of a fake profile on social media platforms, a profile which does not correspond to the user's real identity. Like all of you, I am one of the billion peoples in this world who use social media every day. So I think it's important to talk about this because we are all potential victims of being catfished. Along with the research I've done, and the fact that my cousin has actually had a personal experience being catfished, I think I can talk to you about this topic. So the 2 reasons why catfishing can be so dangerous is because it can lead to identity theft, and the fact that as a population our increased usage of online dating sites and social media are actually putting us at an increased risk. So first let's talk about identity theft. Identity theft is not limited to someone using your photo or your name in replace of theirs. It actually includes bank account access and financial fraud, according to the 2005 article, Identity Theft in an Online World by Computer Law and Research Report. The Pew Research Center in 2013 did a survey about online protection and security. 74% of internet users in America reported knowing of or actually having some sort of identity theft happen to them. That included either emails or social media accounts being compromised, to money losses, to reputation, and physical abuse, and even job opportunities and educational opportunities lost. The other 26% of internet users were either oblivious or denied that identity theft is even an issue. 26% of people in America is a really big number, and with them not knowing the risk that's happening, they're putting themselves at a bigger danger about not knowing how to protect themselves. So how does this relate to catfishing? Well, when you're talking to someone and you think you trust them and maybe even love them online, you're more likely to give this personal information to them because you feel like you trust them. But if you really don't know the person and you haven't met them, then you don't know what they're going to do with that information or where it's going to go. So now that I've talked to you about identity theft, I'll talk to you about how we're putting ourselves at an increased risk. Yes, relationships are a beautiful thing and they can make you happy, but they can also make you feel stressed when they don't turn out the way that you want them to. And things can definitely turn sour when the person you've been talking to has been lying to you about the entire thing and about who they actually are. And all catfishes are just one big lie. So 4 years ago, my cousin had a personal experience with being catfished. She was talking to a man online, and she thought he was a Canadian man back home and someone around her own age. So they were talking for about a year, and she repeatedly tried to get in contact with him in person, but every time it fell through. So she eventually had enough and stopped talking to him. But later she found out that she was actually talking to an American man who was 35 years older than her. So she was fortunate enough to not get into too much danger and harm with this situation, but ever since then she's had trouble trusting anyone, and she's been constantly worried about her online status. The Scientific American in 2014 did research about the increasing rates of online dating usages in America. In 2005 to 2014, the number alone of use of online dating apps increased from 11% to 42%. And the number of marriages and committed relationships increased from 3% to 6%. And people admitting that they feel comfortable enough to start relationships online with people that they don't even know increased from 44% to 59%. These numbers, just in the past, this 9-year study, increased tremendously. And the more people that are putting themselves online and are feeling comfortable talking to these people are allowing these catfishers more people to potentially harm and potentially steal information about them. So in summary, we talked about 2 of the ways the internet can be a dangerous place. Catfishers can lead to identity theft, and by us increasing our usage of social media and online sites, we're putting ourselves at an increased risk. You would think that in 2017 we would have the most advanced security systems online. And yes, we might, but at the same time, these catfishers and everyone online are only getting smarter and they're only going to come stronger. So I don't want you to go home and panic and freak out about everything that you have online, because even though your account may be private, when it's on the internet, nothing's really actually completely private. But the next time, I want you to think about the next time you want to post something, and I want you to think twice about the next time you are about to give information to a website or an online